Welcome back to another week of foal watching. I do have some new faces to introduce you all to from weekend shift. I don't know. Anyway, downside for one kiddo is unfortunately he did already go home. So in this specific case, he is a baby. A client owns him. The client lives like 5-10 minutes away, and so typically they're here for about 2-3 days, and once they get the thumb up from the vet that hey, yeah, you're good to take your 5-minute trailer ride back home, they hop on the trailer and head back home. So he is already gone. It was a little medallion colt. I think I should have a quick little photo or video or something that I will go ahead and put to show you all, but he did great. He was awesome. Really big, beautiful baby. So that was really exciting to see him. I also had one, technically it is like 7:30 I think right now. Do you need a hand? I thought you had it. It's currently like 7:30-ish. This kiddo is pretty fresh out of uterus. She was born like 6:45. I did get some standing video of her. So I'll be showing that momentarily to start it all off. But I will show you a better video of her here in a bit as well. But then we also had another little baby this weekend, so we've been pretty busy. We've been pretty busy. Before I show you actually up close to these two kiddos, are we gonna have another baby tonight? At this stage, the Tappet really is the only. Oh goodness, she has the hiccups. The Tappet's the only one that has some milk. She's consistently just been like very casually on and off uncomfortable, but like at random moments. As a matter of fact, like today, 1 year ago today, my bad. 1 year ago today, she actually had foaled. So, she's right around where she's supposed to be at this stage. She's been quiet tonight. I have a feeling she's our best chance for this week in total. Looking at everybody right now, we have a whole bunch of empty stalls, so we have new faces that are about to come in and say hello, so that might change. But at this point, the Tappet's really the only one where I'm like, we're probably gonna have a baby this week. Everyone else is kind of like just casual, vibing. There is another Tappet that is getting close. There is a golden pal that's getting close. There is, what else? There's an army mule that's getting kind of close. Goodness. Oh, bless her. She has the hiccups. But at this stage, as of like right now tonight, there might be a little relaxed behind, but their boob isn't super full. They don't have like a whole bunch of milk. So, I'm not getting any indications that they're going to potentially foal unless they decide to surprise me, which could definitely happen. In the meantime, let us say hello to our cute little new ones. So cute. She's like, yeah, I did so good. I made mini me. You absolutely did. It is Thursday morning. I've tried to talk about, it's Thursday morning, like so many times, and it kept getting interrupted. I haven't recorded anything since like Monday night, I think a little bit of Tuesday morning. We will talk about that in a hot minute. Things got a little chaotic, and so that's why will you stop being grumpy? We will go back and talk about that momentarily. Everything's fine. Just got a bit chaotic. And I have to do some demoing because it is what it is. Anyway, before I got interrupted so many times, I was gonna say we were gonna have a baby tonight because this awesome little lady finally decided she wanted to do something. So let's say hello to her new kid. Before I also introduce you all, I have a whole bunch of new faces to introduce you to. I still haven't done a proper hello for 2 of them now. I did. Oh, that reminds me. So, what was she? I'm trying to like remember back to whatever. So we had a medallion colt on Saturday, and I had already said I had gotten a little bit of film, not really. but he had already left before I could give a proper hello because he was a ship in. And then we had a Constitution filly on Monday morning. She's also already gone because they have the same owner. And so I actually I got film of her, but I didn't get a proper hello. And then there was a Curlin on Sunday. She's still here. She stays here year round. But those two are gone. So I got to introduce you all to the Curlin, this new kid, and then Problem Child over here. Then we got to talk also about Problem Child 2.0. So anyway, and I have a whole bunch of new mares to say hello to because I know y'all haven't seen that grumpy thing as of yet. It's just been chaotic. It's foaling season. Anyway, let's say hello. So this lovely lady had herself a Medaglia de Oro filly. Hi, Mama. This might be my favorite so far. She is absolutely adorable, and she's so smart. Yes, you are. She stood up, and it was like total accident. You can keep licking me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spook you. She, like, totally on accident, stood up, like, within 7 minutes, and she very quickly was like, oh, I don't think I'm supposed to be standing yet. But she kind of just been rocking and rolling. Everything came very easily to her. And she's just such a classy, pretty... She's got a lot of leg, a lot of body. I just really like her. She also looks a lot like my gelding. Maybe is a little bit of bias that's just like... She's just so cute. I'm just glad she read the freaking manual, man. I was just like, if I have one more... this today, I don't know. So I'm very glad that you taught your filly how to read a manual. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize. I know this stall looks like she trashed it. This baby plays all night long, so she kind of wears down the stall. But this is the Curlin filly that was born on Tuesday. She is an absolute riot. I mean, she plays, runs, and kicks, and just has the time of... I mean, all this is her. She just runs all night long. But obviously, she's a very cute little thing. Hi, Mama. You did so good. Yeah. Your kiddo's taking a nap. You're probably like, do not touch her. She drives me nuts all night long. Please let her sleep for as long as she's willing to. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, she's been doing great. She's a very, very... If for the next like week or so, any like background video of a kid running in a stall, it's probably her. Do you? Oh, you smell the fresh baby. She's like, heck yeah, I do. I smell a fresh child, and it's not mine. Anyway, because it's been a little chaotic, let me do a quick recap of who we have in and who are some new faces and things of that nature. You already know this lovely lady. She's carrying a Good Magic. This one's new. She is carrying a Golden Sense. She is also new. She's carrying a Violence. She only came in recently. She also already has wax on one nipple. However, her bag really isn't full, and she's a first-time mama, so I'm wondering if she's going to be like the Ghost Sapper and kind of drag it out a little bit, like be waxed up for about a week and a half before she does anything. This is an Elusive Quality. You already met her. Constitution, you've already met. Golden Pal. This is a new one. She is carrying a Greatest Honor. She was not originally on my list, but I guess, I don't know, plans changed or something. This lady is carrying an Instagram. You're not due yet. You're also not due yet. You're just in here for babysitting purposes. This mare is the one I think will foal next. The mare that foaled tonight with the Medaglia, this is her best friend. And so it's not uncommon for when one friend goes, the other one will go quickly afterwards. So she was really uncomfortable the night before. There was a whole bunch of thunderstorms, and she drove me up a wall. I was like fully expecting her to have her baby. Tonight she was definitely a lot calmer. She is kind of like, will carry her tail a little high, but she's just been vibing, eating. Occasionally she'll just be a little uncomfortable, but for the most part she's just kind of been vibing tonight. But I do expect her to foal 48 hours. Then we have this girl who's carrying a Munnings. She's carrying a gun runner. And I think I've already introduced you. You're carrying it off this time. But that wraps up everyone who's pregnant, because that's my twirling Candy who's vibing. That's a little Uncle Mo who's vibing. This is the Yupon. Where'd my Yupon go? Oh, there she is. Yupon's vibing over there as well. So that's a nice little really quick catch up. So I definitely think I have 2 more nights. I think the Army Mule is our best bet for anything. Although, I hope she foals, because I don't know. She's got me on pins and needles now. That any moment now. But besides that, everyone else is definitely stacking up again. This whole foaling season, for whatever reason, I feel like it's just constantly been boom, 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 boom. Normally, in the past, I guess we just have had it set that we'll have a really busy week, an average week, and then maybe another busy week, and then we're dead. Have nothing for a week or 2 weeks. This year, I don't know if it's just because it's how the cards played and everyone was more spread out this year, but it's just kind of been nonstop. We've at least had one baby every week, which is, we're knocking them out of the park. We're already halfway through. That's wild to think about a little bit. It's only March, and we're still going to be here till late May, I believe. So yeah, that's the whole thing. Anyway, we're gonna now that I'm hopefully all a little caught up now, we're gonna see how it's morning now, so I guess tonight and tomorrow night goes. And hopefully things is, I feel like if I say anything I'm gonna jinx it. But let's just smoother sailing from here on out, please. I got interrupted Thursday morning trying to catch you up on what we missed the last 2 days. So it's now Friday morning. Nothing interesting happened tonight. I finally got some paperwork done tonight. Really needed to do that. So hopefully I can talk about the last couple days before someone shows up. No guarantee though. Anyway, so to catch before we jump in, everyone's fine. It was just one of those things where obviously I had a job to do and I had to focus on them. No offense, I'm not worried about filming at times like this. And everything is always happening so fast in these situations that you don't screw around and find out. So I arrived Monday. Obviously we had that early baby, so I took care of that, cleaned her stall and everything. And then I have TikTok and YouTube, and so I always try to keep everything different and slightly interesting for both platforms. That doesn't always work, but I try. And so I filmed the TikTok intro, and then I filmed this intro, and I didn't get to show you all the Constitution baby yet because a friend of mine FaceTimed me. A friend of mine recently had a baby, so her sleep schedule is gone, non-existent. It is what it is. So me and her end up talking a lot through the night, and so we talked for 4 or 5 hours, right? Just BSing, catching up. And so eventually, at one point, I had actually told her, I was like, hey, I'm gonna hang up from you, because I have a feeling I'm going to have a baby here soon, because I had been watching this mare throughout the night, and I had been watching her, she was quiet, comfortable, and then I noticed she had developed a little bit of wax, but she was still quiet and comfortable, and then she was just starting to kind of shift, just kind of do this, right? So I told her, I was like, I'm gonna hang up. She's like, cool. And then obviously I always call for backup once they're closer to actually breaking water, right? So I was watching her. I probably watched her for about 10-15 minutes, and that's when she started to walk, get sweat, start dripping milk. Perfect. Textbook. Awesome. So called her back up, and by the time I called her back up, 2 minutes later, she broke water. 5 minutes later, she laid down. Now, we always check for the positioning of the foal once they lay down, just because that's when they're comfortable. This is when it's easiest to do. And so she had laid down, got comfortable. She was not pushing or anything. And we stuck our arm in, and we're like, oh, this is not right. And then, so from the time, broke water, laid down 5 minutes later, 9 minutes later, we are in the back of the horse trailer, headed to the clinic. It takes 7 minutes to get to the clinic. From the time she got off the trailer to the time, baby was out, was about 10-11 minutes. Honestly, it could have been faster than that. But it was all very, So, when we stuck our arm in, essentially, the babies are supposed to be in position like this. Here are the front feet. Here's the head. They should be like this. And if, the floor or the hocks are that way, they should be pointing that way. That's how they should be coming out. This kiddo was like this. And so he was coming upwards and skywards. So you can reposition a foal, and if they're somehow not presented correctly. However, sometimes you are not necessarily always able to. So in this case, he was so big that he was not budging. So when we stuck our arm in and realized he was in the wrong position, we attempted to kind of see if we could turn him ourselves. And then we weren't making any, he was not budging whatsoever. So we actually asked Mom, we're so sorry, I hate to do this, but do you mind switching sides? And she actually did even better. She rolled and switched sides. And the reason why I say it's even better is when a mare shifts, rolls, anything of that nature, it can shift the baby inside itself. She can help us out. Maybe she somehow figured out how to move him, right? And so once she did that, we were phenomenal, perfect. Couldn't ask for anything better. Stuck our arm back in, still no. So we try to attempt again to see if we can get him to move any direction. Nada. And so into the trailer we go. I always ride in the back of the trailer when stuff like this happens. So I'm in the back there with her, and I'm like, girl, whatever you do, we don't lay down and we don't push. Let me tell you, this mare, phenomenal. She never pushed, never, me and her were just standing in the back of the trailer how was your day today? Just cool. He's going really fast right now. There's a lot of curves on this road, totally chill, right? She, phenomenal. Anyway, so then we get to the clinic, and sometimes if a foal is stuck and is not going to come out naturally, they do have to do a C-section. Not the case here. Basically they just tell Mom take a nap so she's not resisting or anything. Don't freak her out. And they take all these levers, and they're gonna lift mare and use some gravity, and that way they're able to help maneuver baby with all this extra lube, all this extra equipment and gravity and all this stuff. And so they were able to get kiddo turned a little bit better, and they got him out. This son of a gun, no wonder we couldn't move him. He was huge. I mean, he was I was like, where were you? What? No wonder. And so actually 4 or 5 years ago, we had one that was identical, where he was, facing upwards, and he was a big kid, but we had managed to move him, get him rotated properly on the farm. And this kid is maybe a little bit bigger than that kid was, but I was like, hot damn. I was like, the vets were like, you were not going to get this out on the farm. It's a good thing you came in. I was like, awesome, great, phenomenal. So, both him and Mom completely fine. He was just upside down. And so that's just, Mom never was just yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. Thank you for getting him out. Totally chill. He's been great. He had to stay at the clinic for smidge over 24 hours. He's already back home. So yeah, everything was doing great with him. So that was just why I was we were obviously going boom, boom, boom. And I was like, okay. And then I was still, honestly, by the time I got back here, it was time to feed. And so I fed everybody, and it took me a lot longer to make a closing end of day thing on my TikTok, because I do that nightly. And because there was crap TikTok drama going on. And so I had to sit and kind of word it properly, because I already knew. I was like, people are gonna be so mad that we had to go to the clinic and have everything's fine. We have a happy, healthy life, mare and foal. And I was like, sure enough, I had limited my comments ahead of time because I knew. And people were mad. People were very mad. So that took way longer than I had planned it to. And then I come in the next day, right? Fabulous. We're a whole new day. Everything's gonna be great. So you babies can decide that they don't know how to be born in several different ways, okay? So that kiddo, he was upside down. This mare, I guess she also didn't tell her baby how to properly be born. So everything was quiet. I was actually down here watching this little curling baby. This curling baby's a blast. I'm gonna see if I can slip some footage throughout somewhere in here of him playing or her playing. She all night long just zoom, 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 zoom. I was like, she's so fun to watch. So I was out there watching her, and she laid down, and I was like, okay, cool. And so I came over. I was like, are you finally gonna foal? And she was like, yep, I'm ready. And so she had just broke water, and so I call back up. I was like, hey, baby time. He's like, okay. And I am bringing my supplies over to the stall, and I always go to wrap their tail, right, to keep it clean and out of the way. And when I grabbed my wrap, I looked at her, and instead of seeing kind of like the little balloon of the placenta, like that first little bit, I just see a nose. And immediately I'm like, oh no, that's not good. And so I actually totally changed plans, grabbed my sleeve and stuck my arm in, and sure enough, I am greeted with just a head and no feet. So kiddo is over here like a skier back like this. Now when they do that, it could be one or two things, and that is either baby is just kind of like this and you just need to push the head back and pull the legs forward, or he's like this because that's how he is, he's stuck. His legs are contracted, and so when horses are contracted, their legs are like this, and sometimes they can't get out that way, and that can mean that you need to do a C-section in order to get them out properly. So as soon as I felt that, first thing I do is try to push the head back to see if I can pull the legs forward. At this time, I'm also calling my backup back because I just called him, right? I was like, hey, baby time. They were getting into the truck, hadn't even gotten here, and I was like, hey, this thing is head, no legs. I'm trying to push the head back. Hey, I'm not making any progress. And they're like, I'll be there in 30 seconds. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, make sure she does not push. Let me tell you, I have a bruise from here to here and here to here because she would not stop straining. So, what time is it? He didn't answer me. Anyway, I asked because it sounds like someone's pulling into my farm. It could be day shift. Anyway, so I was trying to get the head back to where it's supposed to be, and I stuck my arm in farther, and I could definitely feel the legs, and I could feel give. So I was like, okay, I don't think they're contracted. I think she just needs to get the head back. By this point, my backup shows up, and I move to see if he can get it, because I am literally shoulder deep trying to get this thing back into where it's supposed to, and it's not staying. And anyway, so he's not having any luck either because she keeps pushing. She was not other mare, phenomenal. Everything you ask her to do, you're like, don't push, don't strain, don't lay down, don't do nothing. And she was like, yeah, okay, you got this. I'm here. This mare, no. She was working against you, fighting. And so we tried to keep her walking to see if she would stop pushing and that they could shove the head back that way. No. So load her up in the trailer. All this, by the way, is happening within 5 to 6 minutes, okay? There's a lot happening, but it's all like this. So we were like, she's fighting us too much. They have the good trank at the hospital that will knock her out, have her take a nap so that we can shove it back in and pull it forward, or if it's stuck, C-section. So again, get up in the trailer. This time it took us a little longer because it was pouring down rain, so it took us 9 minutes to get to the clinic. But this kiddo was out a lot faster. Sure enough, as soon as they dropped mom, let her take her nap, they said kind of what we had thought or what we were hoping, that yeah, it just needed to be shoved back, but she was fighting us so hard. And then we were able to pull the legs forward, and ta-da! Now this kid scared us a little bit more than the other kid. The other kid, when he came out, like, you know, he came out and they're starting to rub on him. They're checking him and they're like checking his breasts and everything. And he's waking up pretty well on his own. He's kind of like, oh, I'm alive. Oh, hi everybody. Like, oh, it's ticklish. Don't touch me. You know, like he's active. This kid was like down. Like you could see he was breathing, but it was weak, it was erratic. And you're like, come on, like wake up. And it took him a lot longer to finally kind of be like, oh, I'm alive. Oh, I'm here. I'm like, yes. I was like, alive. Anyway, so he is fine. Mom is fine. Both are fine. But they're at the clinic a little bit longer because he was at a higher risk of being a dummy foal. I've talked about this before, where basically they suffer from a lack of oxygen when being delivered, and is this just, you know. So he's still vibing at the hospital. He should be back today or tomorrow. So we will say hi to him. Let's say hi to this other one now that everyone is safe and sound. Let me tell you, it was an adventure. And like the thing is, I always think it's really important to note the heavy majority of the time, everything is fine. Birth is like picture perfect, happy, easy. You know, it's like normal, but definitely they're like, people always like, oh, you shouldn't intervene. They're horses. Like they know how to naturally give birth. If we do not check to make sure, if we had not checked that these two were in the correct position when we did, we would have lost both moms and babies. Like it is very important for us to do our job. Is that a human or a horse? That is a horse. No, so it's very important. Like I understand, like, yes, you want to leave everybody alone and let them just do whatever the hell they do. And you can do that a lot of the time, but it is also important that there's reasons why we do our steps, and it's to make sure everything is right and happy and healthy. And so, yeah. Anyway, now that that's finally over, let's go see happy healthy babies that just, they didn't read their little foaling manual like they were supposed to. Shame on them. It's okay. I made them new ones and they are fine. Anyway, say hello to our ginormous Tappet colt. So yeah, if you remember, what was it, about 3-4 weeks now, we had the Instagram that was really big. The difference between that kid and this kid when it comes to size is, in all honesty, this kid is maybe about 5 to 10 pounds heavier than that kid. The difference is the other kid was a lot beefier, so he had a stronger body, just all natural muscle right off the bat. This kid is just all leg, and he's got such a long body. But he's been doing great. He has been, he's been bouncing around, playing, having a great time, just enjoying. You totally would not know that he tried to be born not the correct way. You gonna come say hi? Oh, hi, Mom. I know, you're so sweet. You got the sweetest mom. You're so lucky. She's the sweetest and she's the best. And she's like, I want cuddles too. All of my mamas want cuddles today. Yes, we do. Oh, goodness. But he has the cutest little face. He loves butt scratches. Hold on. Excuse me, Mama. Excuse me. Do you want some butt scratches? Oh, yes. He's definitely going to be gray. I don't know if you can see it. He doesn't stand still very well. But he's got some little gray around his eyes and his nose. Yes. But he's like, oh, you got to do my favorite part. My favorite part is the boot scratches. So I can scratch my mama. Oh, no, too much? I apologize. What do you want? She's got the coolest hair. Yes, you do. Anyway, so both of them are obviously doing great. Mama is happy to be back home. Baby is absolutely loving all the attention he's been getting. Oh, I feel like I fix your hair all the time. You have such a pretty face. Show it off. It is now Friday night. Last night, was pretty chill. Nothing of interest to report. I have a feeling that we should have a baby tonight. So really, at this stage, the only one that no one has had anything It's just this Army mule in particular. She was uncomfortable. What was it, Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. She was really uncomfortable Tuesday. And then she was kind of smidge uncomfortable Wednesday, but she was really quiet Thursday. And she's currently quiet. She's just kind of chilling and vibing. But she's now officially starting to drip milk. So she didn't have any wax or anything. And like going back into my memory bank, she's never waxed anyway. Hi. But she always does drip milk a couple hours before she foals. Obviously, she's very... You investigating? Uh-huh. Anyway, so currently she's quiet. If I remember correctly, she always foals anyway between like, goodness, like 10 a.m. or not 10 a.m., 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Hi. It's a good thing when you foal so many of you, when you have the same mares that you foal over and over again, you tend to know what they tend to do. So, if I remember correctly, she foals around 10 p.m., 1 a.m. in that zone. So, she's just started to drip milk. I had checked her like 30 minutes ago before I left the farm, and then I came back. So, I'm fully expecting a child tonight. Let's buckle in and just wait on her to do whatever she wants to do. I kind of need to see what the updated filly colt count is. I know they're pretty dang even. I'm not entirely sure who's winning. I know, we're just talking about it. Anyway, but we have mare. Hey, stop it. Her neighbor is a problem. She's currently trying to pick fights through the wall that's behind me. But we now have a little Army mule colt. He's actually not little. He's got a really strong body. Fun fact. So my very first racehorse that I ever had is actually this guy's older brother. I do not own the mare by any means. It was just one of those things that he was technically given to me for free, which was, you know, an interesting way to have your first racehorse. But so yeah, he actually looks kind. I know it's, when they're fresh out of uterus, it can be a little bit tricky to kind of see what is about to unfold, because obviously all their limbs are winky wonky. Body wise, he's very similar to his brother. He's very strong. So this kid has actually a full sister, and the sister was definitely a little bit more on the smaller side. She looked a little bit more like a miler sprinter type. This kid looks more like a two-turn kiddo, a little bit more bone, a little bit more size. Which, the mare herself, she's not necessarily very big. She has a strong body, which is where her kids are getting it from. Goodness. But yeah, so he's got one sister who's the full sister to my kid, and she is a big, tall, petite thing. My kid is a strong-bodied, big thing as well. And then the full sibling to this kid, so shares the same mom and same dad, was a little bit on the shorter side, but looked more speedy. So this kid definitely looks a little bit more like the other two siblings compared to his full sister. Yeah, you look a little bit more like your half siblings than your full. He goes, "I so stinky, I just peed and pooped, and I keep smelling it, and it's stinky." Yep. Oh, you're so silly. Anyway, he should be a big riot because that whole family is they all have very big personalities. So I'm sure he's going to be really fun to work with as time goes on. Anyway, it is officially Saturday morning. So tonight is my last night until next week. The big question again is night shift, or not night shift, is weekend shift going to have a baby? I think they have a pretty solid chance with this lovely lady over here. Oh, have I introduced you all to everything that's new? I can't remember. Oh man, my brain is all. It's been a chaotic week. But this lovely lady is carrying a greatest honor, and she has the tiniest little bit of wax, but that is new. She did not have any of that earlier, and her bag is pretty full. I know she kind of has smaller nipples, but her bag itself is very full. So she is pretty dang ready whenever she would like to go. I think, she's gonna be weekend's best chance for a baby. Maybe if you want to throw in the elusive quality, she's kind of getting close to. And then this Violence over here, she has a little bit of wax on one nipple, but if you want a good example of different types of body parts, humans obviously, we all look different. Horses do too. In this case, you can, no you can't. Kinda, sorta, maybe. Let me turn on the flash. There we go. That's a little bit better. As you can see, her nipples are definitely a lot fuller compared to the other mare, but her bag itself isn't actually that full. So, she's getting close-ish. I think she still has a while. She is a first timer, so I do expect her to fill out the rest of the way. She's giving me this little side glance, like, why on earth are you staring at my boobs? Oh, do you smell the baby? She's like, yeah. Anyway, like I said, I think she has a little bit while to go. If you kind of saw, she's got like the tiniest little bit of wax, but really it's not even truly worth mentioning. I think the greatest honor is the best chance for weekend shift. You might want to throw in the elusive quality or the good magic over there. But I think that's all I got for this week. Let me tell you, I'm ready to hit that reset button for next week because it was a chaotic week. Like, granted, everything turned out fine, but it was just one of those weeks where you're kind of like, okay, is it over yet? Yes. Okay, phenomenal. Great. So, I guess we will see you all next week, and I will update you if we have any weekend kiddos. So, until next time. I know I said goodbye, and I know it's dark. It is Saturday. I'm just now leaving the farm. Normally, I will go on I go every day, and I go take care of my own personal riding horses, and as soon as I bring everybody in, and when they're eating, I will check on the mamas. And so, when I went up there, I was looking, I was like, I think we're gonna have a baby a lot sooner than I was originally thinking, and sure enough. And so I'm about to show you a few little videos of just little greatest honor filly. She's a beautiful filly, a lot of leg, everything was good, happy, healthy. So that is actually my wrap up for the week. I don't know if Weekend might have another baby with the Instagram. The Instagram was very excited that her neighbor had a baby. So I guess we're officially gonna wait and see. So officially until next time.